Hey guys, um, just finished watching Marvel's 75 Years Pulp to Pop, and oh my God, was it amazing! I mean, basically all it was is just the showing the from Marvel from the beginnings in 1939 to now, and showing that all in the hour of Agents of Shield time slot. So this definitely was very good. I loved it. I mean, I love reading. I mean, I got right here. I've got this here that I'm currently reading. So I've already read the Stan Lee book, and so yeah, I just love the origin of Marvel heroes, Marvel comics, and Timely, and everything, and you know, yes, it just just amazing. So this definitely was great. I mean, even everything, not just. I mean, the story is the story, so it's not like but I just love hearing this story. I could watch anything like that, anything about Marvel, over and over and over again. I think what definitely would have been really interesting is if they got Steve Ditko to appear on there. If I'm not mistaken, he's still alive. I think that would have been the one thing that would have really just pushed it out there. But no one knows where he is. The legend Steve. I don't know if they mentioned him. They mentioned him. Obviously, they mentioned him in it, but they mentioned that he's no longer. But I think that'd be interesting to see, though. I want to see, though. I want to hear more of Steve Ditko and see where he is and whatnot. But so this thing was definitely great. I mean, I love it. I mean, it's a great documentary. I wish it was 10 times as long. At least a 2 hour episode would have been nice. 2 hour instead of an hour to really go deeper into the parts. I love the the like to go a little bit more into the movie part of it. But then again, I think if they had done this part and then wait till another thing, like I'm excited. Like I'm glad it was only. I would like to have a 2 hour episode, but just tonight instead of having an hour here and then an hour next week, and then we have to wait another time for Shield. But I really liked it. It definitely was really good. I wish they should have had Lou Ferrigno on there. I mean, they showed him, but they didn't show him. They showed him in the Hulk and whatnot. But other than that, it was just great seeing Stanley. Talking about go back to even down to the point where he it was his wife that told him. He was about to quit Marvel. He was about to quit Timely, and he was going to just quit, go do something else. And so it was his wife who said, okay, then your last books, they're just write them the way you want to write them. Then if you're gonna quit, who cares? What's the worst thing gonna do? They're gonna fire you, and you're gonna quit anyway. So who cares? And that's when Joe Schumacher, he told him. We need a team. We need a team like the Justice League out there. And so he didn't make a team like the Justice League, but he made a team, and he made the Fantastic Four. So from that, it's just I just love. I can hear that the origin of Marvel heroes over and over again, especially Red Stanley. The way they did it, it was just perfect. The the only way to top it is to actually have Steve Ditko and Jack Kirby there with him. But unfortunately, it's impossible. But I even like it. They had Jack Kirby's son there. Like that was great. I love it. I love that. I mean, I never even seen him. I wouldn't know him. Now I see him. Now I'm gonna go look him up online and follow him on Twitter and all that. If hopefully he's on Twitter. But it was just great. And the Agent Carter stuff that we saw was pretty interesting. I like how it was nothing that really brought you into the show and like spoiled anything. But it was definitely. I mean, they just talk about one of the things that they have to talk about, and the dangerous, the element that the piece of paper that's out there and whatnot that they have to go get. But it was definitely like it didn't spoil too much. I mean, they talk about a little bit about the item, but not too much. It was definitely interesting to see, and I can't wait to see it. The Age of Carter stuff. But the big thing that I really liked is at the end, the Shield episode of next week. Now that we know that Ward, he's on the loose and whatnot. And he's wearing a suicide vest, and he has threatens to commit to bomb everything, suicide bomber, and stuff like that. That is just, like, never thought that he would go and do that. I thought that, in this episode, in the last episode when Ward escaped, he had the advantage of them not knowing. So I thought he was going to play on that, but the idea of him, the idea of him, he has nothing to lose and all that stuff, and yeah, he doesn't. I just didn't think of that. I thought that he would. He's so in love with Sky that he didn't want to risk anything. He wants to be with her and whatnot. But I guess not. So he definitely has this. I guess not, which I kind of like that. And he just, willing to go that far to, because he wasn't loyal to Hydra. He was loyal to Garrett. So to see him willing to go this far, with the suicide vest and all that is definitely very interesting, very cool. I think what would be nice to see in the next episode of S.H.I.E.L.D. would definitely be to have he's about to blow up his suicide vest, and then you don't see him, but an arrow just goes by and choom, and cuts the cable to him like like an arrow. I think that would be interesting. I doubt that they'd do that, but it would be quite funny if they just saw the arrow and then you never saw him. You just maybe heard the voice, or you didn't see him. You just saw someone dressed like him, but it's not him. It's not Jeremy Renner. It's just someone who looks like him, like his stunt double. Could come and just throw on the suit and give him in the shadows, and he does that and he takes off. I think things like that would be a little bit cool for the S.H.I.E.L.D. But so back to this trailer in this Marvel 75th there, Pulp To Pop. It definitely was very interesting. Excuse me. And it was definitely, I can't wait to see how Mockingbird does, deals with this, where it deals with the suicide bomber, how they go through that and all that, and the whole parts with Coulson now is going to be answered, and oh, I'm so excited! Just so excited for this stuff, and this documentary thing was just amazing. I just loved it. I just wish that the one thing that ticked me off had nothing to do with the show at all was the American broadcast of the elections would interrupt it, and a little bit of the elections, and it's just like, I mean, I wish these things, the things like the election, are the reasons why I hate television. I mean, I love watching the shows and whatnot. I hate the idea of TV on the TV. I want to watch these shows. That's why I'm excited for the Netflix stuff. I don't have a Netflix account just yet since I'm in school and all the money for it, but as soon as the Marvel shows come out, I'm going to watch them on Netflix. And so I wish that they would take these and put them on, ABC.com, or put them on, on Marvel.com. Just put your advertisements in there that way. That way, Marvel has control of it, and Marvel has it. So they have their own same deal, advertisements inside of it, but no one is going to interrupt this show. Anything's gonna happen. As long as you have an internet connection, you can watch it, and at the same time, as soon as it's available on TV, same time, there, not have to wait 24 hours, I could just watch them online, but I do my reviews, so I need to see them as soon as it's available. So I wish, so I just didn't like having the news interrupt the silly election there. Not important. Marvel is more important. So this, back to the show there, it was just so great. I loved it. I love it. They kind of glanced over the part that they didn't talk about it at all. They skipped over the selling the Spider-Man rights, and to be able to get back up to where they were once they crashed, and but before I get on to that, what I really liked about this episode was all the cliffhangers. At the beginning of the cliffhangers, the first cliffhanger to the when they cut to commercial, was, and Stan Lee gets promoted to to editor in chief. I think commercials, and then the next one was. And then Marvel was going super good, and then it surpassed DC in sales, and then all of a sudden, and then Kevin Smith says, "Oh yeah," then I got my first Marvel stock, and then all of a sudden it dropped, boom, and then commercial. So those are like were just good cliffhangers, we're good. If they would have built them into multiple episodes, they would have done each part an hour, and then have make it a issue 5 series run there. I think those would have been great excuse me, if they would have done it in like multiple stories. Those would have been great points to end at. Great cliffhangers. I find that those were good. And then so just so excited with everything. It's so awesome. And like I was saying, they didn't show anything about selling the movie rights to. I mean, they talked about rights, and they talked about the fact that Marvel was so down, and when everything dropped, that they were selling the filing cabinets for money, and then they were worried that that they were so worried that if someone was going to buy the characters, would they buy all of the Avengers, or just buy Spider-Man, or just buy Captain America, and so the characters were popular enough to stay around, because people, if they couldn't afford to write them, someone else would buy them and talk about it and do them, and so then nobody bought the characters straight out, but they bought the movie rights to them, and so they never talked about the movie rights and the idea of selling them and whatnot, but but on the other hand, if they never did, which they should have talked about, I think that if they could have talked about it and just say how, even to have Stan talk about it, the idea of they talk about it, and then, if he never hit, if he hadn't have done it, they'd have Spider-Man now, they have all that stuff. But there was such a gamble doing Iron Man, and they didn't do it for a long time after they came back. They didn't do it right away, do Iron Man right away. They waited, they waited a while before they came back. I mean, they waited a bit. Excuse me. Just so tired, but just going on, so excited from that. They waited a bit after, after doing that. And if they didn't get the money from Spider-Man, from X-Men, from all those rights and all that stuff that they don't have for the movies, they never would have been. They wouldn't be here. They wouldn't be here to have the Avengers. We wouldn't have the Avengers if they hadn't have done that, because they wouldn't have had the money for that. So those are the parts that I really wish they would have talked about, to say, explaining, it's a bummer that we don't have Spider-Man and all that stuff, but and we don't have all these characters we don't have these characters that we want to use in our movies, but and I know, I guess they can't do that. I guess maybe they're not, for some reason they can't talk about it or whatnot, but I would have liked to have had a little bit more about, the movie deals, and, and I would like to just a documentary like this just on the movie deals, and, who the characters, they like, you know what I mean, and on explaining that and whatnot. I guess there's not much of a story to do on that, but like I was saying, just a little bit more on the movie parts, and explaining how, because of all these things, it brought Marvel, it gave them the money to go back, and then all of a sudden, to continue on and not completely go out and not fade away, and because if they hadn't have sold them, if they hadn't have sold it, maybe they could have gotten wiped up and then just fizzled away, and we never would have had anything. So I think the idea of just pointing out how if they didn't sell those things would have been a good idea. But other than that, I think I loved it. It was great. It was just amazing, and it makes me want to go out and I can't afford to, but makes me want to go out and buy a Fantastic Four #1. It makes me desperate to go on it. And the one thing I would have liked to have seen is they showed a lot of the comic books, but I would like to have seen some of the, like, Stan Lee. Somebody bring Stan Lee, a Fantastic Four #1, and have him go through it. When, instead of showing just a picture of it, just a picture of them. Show to have Stan Lee on a desk. With, here's, this is this is a Fantastic Four #1, and him talking about it, and talking about his wife giving him the idea as he's going through it. As he is with, he's going through. There are copies out there of it that that they're readable copies. I mean they're worth $2,000, but they're not they're just get together just enough to to show, and just I think that would have been for me as a diehard comic fan and not just the characters, really the comics. I think would have been cool to see the actual comics. Or even to have Stan Lee. I especially love to have Stan Lee go over the Captain America #3, his first comic work. That would have been awesome. But other than those things, those are little things that I would have loved to have. But let me know what you think, and are you excited for the next episode of Shield? Because I can't wait now. The next episode looks so good. Yeah, I love this. Good. Let me know what you think in the comments below, guys. Peace out.